On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu signs new executive order on multiple taxation. FCTA set to begin the implementation of standard operating procedures in the territory. And attention is on breaking the chain of zoonotic transmission as the world marks Zoonosis Day. Hello and welcome to the news at 7 on Nta Channel 5, Abuja. I am Mariam George Jitubo. President Bola Tinubu has signed some new executive orders towards ameliorating hardship occasioned by multiple taxations in the country. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports that this is coming following complaints about multiple taxation and anti-businesses inhibitions.
We have long ago decided to march beyond the dimness of night into open day of renewed national hope.
It's another step in fulfillment of campaign promises re-echoed in his inaugural speech. The current administration is paying attention to issues constituting hardship on Nigerians and micro-businesses by way of taxation.
When you talk about revenue management, it's not only in tax collection. The starting point is our economic policy, because our aim is not to tax poverty. Our aim is not to tax production. Our aim is to increase our productive activity.
The intentions behind upward adjustments of some of these taxes are quite noble. They were designed to raise revenue as well as address environmental and health issues of concern.
Part of the measures is to address business-unfriendly fiscal policy and multiplicity of taxes.
The Tinubu administration has since noticed that some of the tax policies are being implemented retroactively, with their commencement dates in some instances predating the official publication of the relevant legal instruments backing the policies. This lacuna has created some challenges of execution or implementation.
The new decision affects the Finance Act Order 2023, signed into law by the previous administration, which seeks to introduce some changes to the existing tax laws and regulatory framework. President Tinubu has now ordered the deferment of the Finance Act Order 2023 to commence on September 1st, 2023, and also shifted the Custom Excise Tariff Amendment Order 2023 to commence on August 1st, in line with the national tax policy. Also ordered is the suspension of the 5% excise tax on telecommunication services, as well as excise duties escalation on locally manufactured products. In addition to the suspension of the import tax adjustment levy on certain vehicles, the President has equally ordered the suspension of the newly introduced green tax by way of excise tax on single-use plastic, including plastic containers and bottles.
Now, the category of imported vehicles specifically refers to vehicles of 2,000 cc and above, as the capacity, the engine capacity of 2,000 and above.
If we've not provided the alternative, it would be inhuman to tax the only option that we have. And that is what we see, that we suspend it. So pending the time we have alternative for the other use of all these plastics. So it is the view of Mr. President that it should not be a good representation, that if not provided the alternative, and then we start from imposing the taxes. And then his wisdom, that is why we have to suspend this for now.
The government promised to create friendly policies to allow businesses flourish across the country. From the State House, Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
Improved service delivery in the Federal Capital Territory has received a boost with the signing of the standard operating procedures in the FCT. FCT Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola signs the MOU in Abuja. Onozia Kubu tells us more.
The implementation of the standard operating procedures in the FCT is expected to kickstart in January 2024. This is a testament to the FCT administration's willingness to adapt to the new norm of upholding the highest standards of governance in the territory.
With the performance management system as one of its core pillars, under which the standard operating procedure is strategically situated as the foundation for the automation that will soon be deployed, which will now make us to go away from the current APA evaluation system to the new performance management system.
15 departments received signed copies of the SOPs. Meanwhile, the documents are subject to periodic reviews, while the permanent secretary wants secretarial departments and agencies to comply with the new directive.
These SOPs will provide a framework for our departments to operate in a consistent manner, ensuring that our services are delivered promptly, uniformly, and with the utmost professionalism.
The journey to the implementation of SOP in the FCT began in May 2022. It was meant to provide a framework for consistency and professionalism across all SDAs. Oneze Yakubu, NTA News.
Girl child emancipation, women empowerment, available land for farming were issues raised as the global convergence for land grabbing, water and siege struggles West Africa paid a courtesy visit on Sape Garki in his palace. Deborah Gazai-Jamaica has more on that.
Global Convergence for Land Grabbing, Water and Siege Struggles West Africa, in collaboration with Copperjane Coalition and ROPA, mobilized the visit to Sape's palace to strengthen partnership over land grab policies of the government, which has directly affected the FCT locals, depriving them of farming activities. The organizations noted that land grabbing is at the expense of the rural communities and has strong impact on family farming, which feeds and employs over 70% of the population.
Haɗaka da talakawanka Allah ya sa a yi mulki, Allah Ubangiji ya sa mu lallaka gaba ɗayanmu cikin iyalanmu. Shi muke fata, Allah ya baka nasara, ina tsammani zan tsaya nan.
Most of us have been left with nothing doing. Like we all know, land is life after the air we are breathing. To have peace in FCT and Abuja, and particularly within the FCC, is to have a commission whereby these challenges will be addressed.
They also observed that insecurity contributes to economic challenges today in Africa. In Abuja, Deborah Gazai-Jamaica, NTA News.
Shifting attention to make the non-oil sector the mainstay of the economy, observers say will reduce over-dependency on oil. Aisha Obali reports that this was the thrust of a workshop in Abuja with its theme as non-oil revenue generation, innovation for national development and security.
Stakeholders gathered here to discuss not an unfamiliar issue, but something that has been echoed and re-echoed, that is the issue of diversification of the economy, especially looking at the non-oil sector. The Environmental Risk Reduction Management Institute is looking at providing solutions not only on environmental challenges, but also promoting national development.
The rate of insecurity is caused by poverty. So if you are talking about revenue generation through non-oil sectors, you are talking about creating wealth and developing the country so that you can now attack insecurity.
For example, in the area of cassava, Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava in the globe, accounting for about 25% of global production. But however, in terms of earning capacity, in terms of value addition, we are not even among the first 10.
Also recommending the need to build institutions and systems to help indigenous manufacturers.
Other countries, you will discover that their government have put these incubation centers on ground for them. Those incubation centers are being set non-political incubation centers like ours here.
Although the issue of funding according to speakers, has remained the major bottleneck for local manufacturers. The agricultural sector, they say, need to be harnessed, while they continue to hope that the non-oil sector will one day be the mainstay of the economy in Nigeria. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
Deadly diseases like Lassa fever, Ebola, influenza, and recently anthrax have been traced to animals. Experts say these can be curtailed through vaccination and proper handling of the animals. Hakimat Aliyu x-rays the situation as the global community marks the World Zoonosis Day, commemorating the first vaccination administered against zoonotic disease.
It is no news that some infections and deadly viruses are transmitted to humans from their interactions with animals, in the likes of Lassa fever from rats, Ebola virus from monkeys, rabies from dogs, all classified by veterinary experts as zoonotic diseases. Most of these diseases lead to death, as explained by a veterinary expert, Dr. Bala Muhammad.
They live in their ecosystem before now, and unfortunately, we've been closing in on their ecosystem. We've taken over their system, and then we want them to live with us the way we live, and therefore opening up that vista of disease exchange between what used to be animal diseases, now human diseases of concern.
Dr. Muhammad adds that, unlike humans, animals more often appear healthy, even when they carry such parasites, bacteria, or germs. Hence the need to always take necessary precaution.
When you eat them, you play with them, or you do all kinds of things and eating, you should be rest assured that if you don't take good care of the animals, they are going to be the source of our end time.
Instituted 6th July 1885, World Zoonosis Day raises awareness about zoonotic diseases, as well as commemorates the French biologist Louis Pasteur, who administered the first dose of vaccine against rabies, a zoonotic disease. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliyu, NTA News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, on behalf of the federal government, mourns the death of the first Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister, Chief Mobolaji Adeogun, aged 96. A statement signed by the Director of Information, Office of the SGF, Willie Bassi, recalls that Chief Adeogun, who was appointed the first FCT Minister under the regime of General Murtala Mohammed, was tasked with the responsibility of drawing up the Abuja Master Plan. SGF describes the late former Minister of the FCT as a technocrat, a boardroom guru, entrepreneur, all magnate, and an initiator of developmental projects in the country. He commiserates with the government and people of Lagos State, his immediate family, and prays to God to grant the soul of the departed eternal repose. Let's now join the foreign desk for the Globe.
Hello, it's good to have you join us on the Globe this week, an international news segment that offers unique perspectives on some stories that made headlines this week. I am Miriam Emekamadi. Britain on Wednesday celebrates 75 years of its National Health Service, with royals, politicians, staff, and patients expressing pride in its past and determination that it will endure in the future despite current challenges. Launched on July 5, 1948 by a Labour government following the Second World War, its mission was to ensure everybody, irrespective of means, age, sex, and occupation, shall have equal opportunity to benefit from the best and most up-to-date medical and allied services available. The West African country of Togo has reported an outbreak of a highly pathogenic H5N1 bird flu virus on a poultry farm. the World Organization for Animal Health, WOAH, said on Wednesday. July 4 is celebrated as America's Independence Day. This year marks the 247th Independence Day for the country. The day was celebrated with parades and, of course, fireworks. The holiday celebrates the Second Continental Congress' unanimous adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776, a document announcing the colony's separation from Great Britain. U.S. President Joe Biden led the celebration of the Independence Day. And sadly, 9 people have been injured, including 2 juveniles, in a mass shooting in Washington, D.C., police said. Amid Independence Day celebration across the United States, no arrests have been made so far. Shortly before 1 a.m. on Wednesday, police responded to a report of a shooting in northeastern quadrant of Washington, D.C. Assistant Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department, Leslie Parsons, said in the video statement. And that's it on The Globe this week. Stay for the continuation of the news.
It's now time for Sports Brief.
18 players of the Nigerian Super Falcons this Thursday morning took part in their first training at Gold Coast Sports Centre, Australia, ahead of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. New arrived players such as Gift Monday, Esther Okoronko, Tochukwu Oluwahi were not parts of the training as they needed to rest. In athletics, world record holder Toby Amusan has emerged national champion for the 4th consecutive time at the women's 100 meters hurdle of the Nigerian Athletics Championship in Benin, clocking a time of 12.70 seconds under drizzling rain. Meanwhile, in other events, Ifeanyi Ojeli finished second in the men's 400 meters with a new personal best of 45.63 seconds at the Meeting International Città de Numbro in Italy. Talking volleyball, the head coach of Nigeria under-21 women's volleyball team, Rekia Mohammed, says her team will get Ghana like a Nigerian delicacy, jollof, when both teams square up against each other at the ongoing 2023 African Under-21 Nations Volleyball Championship Zone 3 in Niamey, Niger Republic. Nigeria faces Ghana at the Palais du 29 Juliet Recreation Center. Mohammed explained that her team is mentally and physically prepared for the game against Ghana. With Sports Brief, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
And with sports, we end the news in English. Up next, translations. Good night.
ma ba je we sha je wo wona bi ku ja ba dai wa na ba shi ba dai wo mu president fa yuba wani wago a na ba ge gai ana ba ga su dai in ga kisi na gwamnati a ta shi ba ko ma shi wa in gwamnati she ba ama bo in ga gwamnati kisi na ya la watu in bagbatu she gwamnati a ta shi ba tutu in bagbatu in kisi na ye unwu oniza yakubu wada in ga kisi na nyaka ta da shayi in ga alusha de adeshola no bai tu bagbatu a ta shi nya bua kwaze kwa wubazo ko she babashi ba tutu owu bai bua mashi gwamnati itna tukosa gbadagun tiga gwamnati yan banu shi tutu ba je she abi an koza bwa abiagilo na asapa gbogbo ba be ku be sape yi dogwe wa ba nge Dr. Usman Gakupi ngabi ba chewo ba pa wa ma ba shi ntu akibo nba nche lo nkizi na ye to azanu koi ba lasa ko Deborah Gazaji Maika wada inga sapa yi ku daba inge wo ba ja asoko mana wo ba vi gwamnati sibwado wa je shaba ma ba shi ina bai nya mba labwa kwa ma ba shi ba godo ba tutu mana intu ya ko za abi abegibo anabaji aje godo dai inga akizi na gwamnati nyaka yi na da shayi je Olushade Adeshola woku owo bugba wu pepe ishe we ushwatnu na babai ya minister akmasi akizi na nya je chief Mobolaji ajose adegun nwa ba shi sagi na fi afunyan onize Yakubu wa godo we dai nge zanagman ye betnu na babai nu lo nge chief Mobolaji puwa nko lolo Lagos kin wa godo we da abi nge ba dadanu be shi tutun ekizi na ye yiji gin ko haye ye wa ko agmadai wa godo we da ekizi na do ekiye hwa dudu yila ozabo pe ye gisan nkiye kwanyi waku shakwayi giwe na bai wo babwa asasaba manai ama agbaje anabaji kuzo yibe ji adowo su shakwaji fi yi won fi na gbada saisu
labaranmu na yau mai karantawa Yusuf Yakubu. Ci gaba da ayyukan alheri a bangaren ababen more rayuwa na bunƙasa rayuwar al'umma ya sami ƙwarin gwiwa bayan sanya hannu a tsarin gudanar da shi a nan birnin tarayya Abuja. Wakilin Mushaibu ne ya shaida mana da sakataren dindindin na hukumar birnin tarayya Olushade Adeshola shine ya bayyana haka yayin sanya hannu a yarjejeniyar gudanar da ayyukan ci gaban rayuwar al'umma mazauna birnin tarayya Abuja. A ziyarar da tawagar kungiyar yammacin nahiyar Afirka ta kai ziyara fadar mai martaba sarkin garki Dr. Usman Gakupi, wakiliyarmu da bayar gaza Jimaika ta shaida mana cewa an bayyana bunƙasa ilimin yara mata, kyautata rayuwar mata, samar da filin noma, ruwa da kawo ƙarshen wahalar irin shukawa a matsayin ababen da ake buƙatar rayuwar al'umma ta kyautattu su ci gaba a cewar kungiyar. Sakataren hukumar birnin tarayya Olushade Adeshola ya bayyana damuwarsa akan rasuwar babban sakataren hukumar birnin tarayya na farko Chief Mobolaji a Joshe Adegun. Wakilin Mushaibu Onuzi Yakubu ya sake labarta mana cewa sakatare Olushade Adeshola ya bayyana haka ne a sakonsa na ta'aziyya ga iyalan mamacin a gidan iyalansa da ke birnin Lagos, inda ya bayyana shi a matsayin mutumin kirki abin koyi ga al'umma. Ƙarshen labaran namu na kenan, sai kuma gobe idan Allah ya kai mu kwana lafiya.
da ogibonye ọma na-ekiri anyị n'uhuruchi taa nọ na ya bụ akụkọ ụwa nke mgbede. Ọ bụ Okwu Francis Idenyi bụ onye na-wetara ya bụ akụkọ. Ebugola n'ogo dị elu etu esi arụ ọrụ nkwalite obibi ndụ n'ime FCT site na ya bụ mbinye aka n'akwụkwọ nkwekọrịta nke ndị ọrụ FCT. Onoze Yakubu kwuru na ọ bụ onye odeakwụkwọ ukwu nke FCT bụ Olushade Adeshola binyere aka na ya bụ akwụkwọ nkwekọrịta ma kwe nkwa na ọrụ ịkwalite obibi ndụ ga na-aga n'ihu otu o si kawaga mma na FCT. mgbapụta nwata nwanyị, ịkwalite obibi ndụ ụmụ nwanyị, ime ka enwe ala ebe a ga na-akọ ugbo so n'okwu selitere isi n'oge utu n'ọrụ onwe ya mere njem nleta nye eze ọdịnala nke Garki. Deborah Gazaji Maịka mere ka anyị mata na ọ bụ obieze Sape Garki ka otu a mere ya bụ njem nleta ma tinyegasị ọnụ na okwu abara uru maka nkwalite obibi ndụ. Odeakwụkwọ ukwu nke FCT bụ Olushade Adeshola egosipụtala mwute ya maka ọnwụ onye isi mbụ nke ụlọọrụ FCT bụ Chief Mobalaji Adeogun. Ọnọze Yakubu mere ka anyị mata na Olushade Adeshola gosipụtara ka obi si dị ya ma kwudokwara ezinụlọ ya bụ nwoke lara mmụọ bụ nke ndị bi na Lagos. Etu a ka anyị si wetara gị ya bụ nchịkọta akụkọ nke uhuruchi taa, ka ọ dịkwa n'echi ọzọ mgbe anyị nunu ga-ezute. Ndewo.
Kalẹ̀ o ẹ̀sìnkú dédé wòyí ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún ti ìlú Àbújá ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín. Bọ́lájí Mati ni oníròyìn. Ètò ìṣeéṣe ti ga ju tàtẹ̀yìnwá lọ ní Àbújá. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Ìrìnsẹ̀ Yakubu ròyìn wípé ìjọba ìlú Àbújá ti gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tí yóò mú kí iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe rọrùn fún gbogbo òṣìṣẹ́ bí ó ti jọwọ́ lu ìwé ìfọ̀mọ̀ṣọ̀kan. Ọ̀gá àgbà iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba ìlú Àbújá Olúṣọlá Adéṣọlá ló fi ọwọ́ sí ìwé ọ̀hún. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ó sọ ọ̀pọ̀ lóríṣiríṣi lórí ètò ọ̀hún àti àǹfààní tí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ máa rí nínú ètò ọ̀hún. Ẹgbẹ́ kan tó dúró láì fara tì ìjọba ti ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ní ọba ìlú Garki gbà ní àlejò ní ààfin rẹ̀. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Deborah Gazaji Maịka ròyìn wípé ẹgbẹ́ náà sọ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ pàtàkì ìrìn àjò rẹ̀ pàápàá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọdébìnrin, ètò àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn obìnrin pẹ̀lú ilẹ̀ tó wà láti fi dá oko. Ọba Usman Gakupi nínú ọ̀rọ̀ sọ wípé ilẹ̀ ń bẹ ṣùgbọ́n ó ní àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tó rọ̀ mọ́. Ó dúpẹ́ fún ìgbésẹ̀ rere tí ẹgbẹ́ náà gbé fún àǹfààní àwọn ènìyàn. Ikú lópin ọmọ ènìyàn. Ọjọ́ kan ń bọ̀ tí a ó sùn tí a kò ní jí, gbogbo wa la jẹ gbèsè ikú. Ọ̀gá àgbà iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba ìlú Àbújá Olúṣadé Adéṣọlá ti kẹ́dùn pẹ̀lú ẹbí aláṣẹ àkọ́kọ́ fún ìlú Àbújá tó papòdà, olóògbé Mobalaji Àjọṣẹ́ Adéògùn ní ìlú Èkó. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Ìrìnsẹ̀ Yakubu ròyìn wípé ọ̀gá Olúṣadé nínú ọ̀rọ̀ mẹ́nuba ipa tí olóògbé Adéògùn kó nínú ìdàgbàsókè ìlú Àbújá. Ó gbàdúrà wípé kí Ọlọ́run ọba kó tẹ́ sí afẹ́fẹ́ rere. Iwájú tó kọjú kọ kò ní bàjẹ́, ẹ̀yìn tó fi sílẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò ní bàjẹ́. Ọ̀run rere fún olóògbé Adéògùn. Kì í dùn kó pọ̀, ṣéun ni ọbẹ̀ oge. Títí ìwòye ọ̀la ní àṣẹ Tìdùmàrè, Ojúmọ́ Ire ni yóò mọ́ wa.